Hey everyone! So today I'm here to film a video about my Jestrum piercing. So first I'll go ahead and show you. So as you can see, the Jestrum piercing is a Medusa piercing, but it's done vertically. So it's done through the lip and comes out right here, which would just be basically the middle of my top lip. The reason I got this one done as opposed to the regular Medusa is because I wanted to avoid rubbing against my teeth. So that's why I got this one. It's not very common, I've noticed. I haven't seen a lot of people with them, and my piercer said she hadn't done very many of them. So it's a pretty rare piercing. So I guess I'll just start out as far as pain. I've had both sides of my bottom lip done as well in the past, and this hurt much worse. And the reason I believe that to be so is because it goes through, instead of just going through, just like kind of below your lip, it's going through your actual lip, which has a lot of nerve endings, so I believe that's why. And since it's a curved barbell through here with just a flat back, so it's basically a curved labret. And so she had to, use a curved needle to get the right curve on it to make sure that the bar would fit. So I think that made it hurt a little bit more. And she didn't use any clamps, it was freehand. So that also, I think, made it took a little longer, so it hurt a little more. As far as pain scale, I would put it at probably a 7 out of 10. 10 being the worst, 1 being the least. If I had to compare it to anything, probably compare it to maybe, I used to have my septum. I'd say my septum was probably a 6. So it's probably around a little bit more painful than my septum was. I've also had cartilage piercings, and I think those are about a 4. So if you have your nose or something like that, I would say a vertical Medusa hurts a lot more. As far as healing, it takes about a year to fully heal, so it takes a little bit longer than the average lip piercing. It's been pretty good. I haven't had a lot of issues with it. I'll have to get the bar changed out to a shorter one in probably another few months. I've had it for about 3 months, and usually change out at about 6 months. You change to a shorter one, just because your lip will be swollen. Maybe, mine isn't really noticeably swollen, but on the inside, it'll probably be swollen for maybe 6 months. It's possible. It's not going to be huge and noticeable or anything like that. After a month, it's not going to be noticeable anymore. Healing's been easy. I clean it with sterile saline wound wash twice a day, in the morning and at night. When I first got it, I would clean it in the morning, mid-afternoon, and then before I went to bed, so 3 times a day. But now I just clean it twice a day. There wasn't really anything spectacular about the healing or about the process. It is more painful, as I mentioned, but it's nothing to be worried about. It's really not. It's just quick. You don't have to worry about it. And after it's done, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't affect your eating or talking or anything like that. So it's not going to really affect anything. So as far as just the process, you sign paperwork. You go pick out your jewelry. I just have a opal here, a nice whitish blue opal from Industrial Strength, attached to a curved flat back internally threaded labret, also from Industrial Strength. I believe my labret was hand bent at the shop. I don't believe it was sold that way, so I think they just bent it for my anatomy, just because it's a little more of a complicated piercing. As far as how much it costs, it really depends on your area. I spend more because I like to get higher quality jewelry, so it just really depends. I think the piercing itself is like $30, which is pretty average for my area. So then they take you back to the room after everything's been autoclaved and everything's set up. She just goes ahead and she marks it. It takes a little bit of time to mark it just to make sure it's exactly straight. She marked a dot here and then a line to here and then dot here to make sure it's a nice straight line. That takes about 5-10 minutes just to make sure you get it perfect. I took a look at it, and then she went ahead and had me lay down. And she just said, breathe in. And as I was breathing out, she pushed it through. She went bottom to top, kind of curved up. It took a couple of seconds as opposed to, the second that a normal piercing would be. It is painful. but you just have to kind of find your happy place, and it'll be over before you know it. And you'll have a new, beautiful piece of jewelry to show off. So it's kind of worth it if you ask me. So they do take a while to heal. If you're not very patient, I definitely wouldn't get your Jestrum pierced, just because it is a very long healing piercing. And you're going to have to take good care of it. And you really can't wear makeup in that area for at least probably 6 months. So I don't wear lipstick or anything like that, just because I don't want to contaminate the area. But I think it's a really flattering piercing, especially just like me, it's the only one on my face. I think it kind of is just nice and centered, and it just kind of brings the whole face together. I really love it. I think it looks really good if you have a septum too, like a shorter, horseshoe that comes down right above it. I think that looks really, really nice. Or if you pair it with a vertical braid right here, so you have just a nice straight all the way through. Or you can pair it with like a tongue piercing like I've done. I think that looks really nice. I just think it's a really fun piercing. If you're looking for something different, but you want to get a lip piercing, and you want to do something that's not going to have contact with your gums or teeth, I definitely recommend it, because sometimes when I smile a little bit, it has a little bit of contact with my front teeth, but nothing like my old lip piercings used to rub against my teeth and caused a little bit of gum recession, so I had to get rid of them. But with this one, I have no problems with that, and it's been really easy. You don't have to do mouthwash, different or anything like that, because it really isn't in your mouth. It's on your lip. And so it's been pretty easy. I'd suggest the first time you change your jewelry, going back to your piercer. Just because it is a curved, barbell, it's a little bit of a different path. It's going to be a curved path instead of just a straight through. It could be hard to get it back in. So just make sure you go there so they can put a taper through, like a curved taper in, so you don't lose, it doesn't close over while you're trying to find the hole again. So that's what I would recommend. That's what I'm going to do. Just because I want to make sure I don't accidentally lose it, because getting it redone would not be fun, especially through all the scar tissue that's going to be there. As far as the kind of scar it leaves, I would imagine it leaves the same kind as just like a regular lip piercing. Like, I don't know if you can see right there. It's a scar from mine. And that side you can't see, but I have a little tiny scar from the lip piercing I had on that side. So it really isn't anything noticeable. You can cover up with makeup even if it was. I think my nose, scars are way more noticeable than the ones on my lips. As far as if you can't have facial piercings for work or school, this is not a good one to get. You can't really hide it. You could put a retainer in, but you're not going to be able to do that for 6 months at the earliest. So I just wouldn't recommend getting it unless, it's, even if you're in the summer or something, maybe you could change it out before you went back to school. But it's still going to be cutting it really, really close, and you could cause it to have infection or, reject or migrate because you changed it too early. As far as rejection and migration, I've had no problems, and I have had piercings reject in the past. My hips rejected, as well as my belly button top and bottom. And the top was done twice, and it rejected twice. So I have had piercings reject. As far as this one, I don't think there's ever an issue with rejection. As long as you treat it well, you should be fine. I think that's all that I have. Again, I just want to mention I'm not a professional. This is just from my personal experience. But if you have any questions or you want to request a video, you can just comment down below or send me a message. And please subscribe to my channel. Thank you and have a wonderful day.